and I would. That's the way I would go in terms of going, because you want to try to secure that second win. Quite possibly in the if you're up a win, you could not have to freak out too much, but at the same time, you don't want someone to get that second win to force the game 3 if you could just clutch it out. But you definitely want to play it probably a little bit more safer.
Well, this is interesting. LVCreed's going into Flashman. Excuse me, no, that's Quickman. Sorry. And Charlieboy is headed into the Red Sea in Bubble Man stage. So do you think Charlieboy just consciously decided, alright, I'm gonna take a page out of Kama Sennin's book where he just goes, whatever stage is up, I just go with it?
I wouldn't say necessarily, but I think Bubble Man's, one of the easiest stages you can go into without having too many problems. Definitely not the safest, but it's safe enough. So he probably just wanted to switch it around, maybe just, to get something that, kind of was annoying him in the last match, which, if you remember, he had a couple deaths in the this section that he's doing right now. So maybe he just wanted to get it out of the way and, feel more confident on moving on to the rest of the game.
Well, that's very true. Conquering that jump right before the gate where in Game 1 we've had a bit of a problem with Shrimp there, and Charlieboy absolutely destroys Flashman.
Ooh, we got another slow heat here.
Well, he seems to be at least transitioning a lot faster, but it's slow in that he's taking 2 damage every time, and you can unfortunately only hit him once.
Definitely makes it look easy, though. You got Charlieboy into Flashman now, which is definitely one of the easier stages as well. I think taking the bubble approach, definitely got that out of the way.
Well, LVCreed picked up item 3, which I'm not sure if that's going to immediately matter, but we're going to see both of the runners in Flashman stage. I guess I'm a little surprised that Charlieboy was able to get through the Bubble Man stage so quickly.
It was definitely one of the easier Bubble Man stages, which is very nice, and he was able to get, that last little screen transition to get through it without any problem, because it was just crabs, as opposed to the shrimp that were basically just killing them left and right. Definitely made that stage a lot easier.
Charlieboy taking a little time out to get the large energy pickup.
Ooh, Charlieboy's got a bat in that section where he wants to pick up the E-Tank, and luckily enough, he was able to stay on the platform to get through that.
Oh, I'm actually surprised Charlieboy didn't go and try to plink the crash wall to see if it's weak to Buster, which is one of the potential weapons that we can use to destroy the crash walls. Oh, and Creed ends up falling down. Ooh, this is not a fun Woodman.
Ooh, yeah.
As Charlieboy ends up getting bodied by Woodman. LVCreed is, well, for the time being, in the lead. As Woodman in these uneven stages is a little more difficult than I think anybody would really like him to be.
Yeah, taking minimal damage with Buster and then having those uneven platforms definitely causing to be more of a struggle.
Oh, we got bodied again. LVCreed, I believe, switched over to the air shooter and did a lot more damage. And I think he got that from the Quickman stage.
Charlieboy needs to watch himself here. He's on his last life.
Well, he should have the E-Tank, and I think if he takes another body shot to Woodman, he would be well advised to use that E-Tank right now. There he goes.
There he goes.
Ah, and there we go. All right, Charlieboy getting through that nightmarish Woodman where he's taking 2 deaths, and, you know, he got out to a lead, but unfortunately, you know, the execution there in that boss fight has found him in a bit of a deficit as LVCreed's going through Bubble Man stage.
And, Creed definitely seeing how this Bubble Man stage is definitely a lot easier. He's getting through it pretty quick.
No. Charlieboy's in the quick man stage.
No pun intended, right?
But yeah, this Bubble Man stage, compared to how it was in Game 1, you know, just about as free as you can get here.
Yes.
LVCreed's going to
even with the Flashman. And this Flashman definitely helps out on the free scale here.
Yeah, you can just kind of juggle them around like it were a Capcom fighting game released a couple years after this game was. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think with 3 similar stages being attempted by the runners, I think we can safely say that LVCreed is in the lead at this point.
It's about half a stage.
Yeah, Charlieboy just made it through the second beam section. And LVCreed's going into Woodman. So we're looking at about a 30-second deficit, if not a little more, depending on how well Charlieboy deals with this fight with Heatman. It looks like he's going to use weapons. Quick doesn't seem to be effective.
That first section in Woodman looked almost identical to the first seed that we had with the toads and the trash cans, which definitely is very irritating. LVCreed again finding the weakness for the dogs here, which definitely speedlines this process.
And Charlieboy used the Metal Blade to make the Heatman fight go a little bit quicker than I think Creed ended up getting, but those 2 deaths are going to come back and haunt him, I think, as LVCreed's going for the Goodwood zip. And we'll be able to see where each runner is going to end up being, because they're taking the same route, not directly, but with the same 3 stages completed, and the same 4th stage. This is about as close of a, you know, even scale for both of the runners, as LVCreed's going to use that zip and warp to the boss fight.
Makes a good one look easy. Definitely one of the harder zips in this game. Very precise movements because of the platforms and stuff that are invisible. LVCreed able to find that Metal Man is weak for this Crash Man, which definitely sped up this process for him.
And we see that LVCreed has just gotten out of the Woodman stage, and Charlieboy is setting up the Goodwood zip. So it looks like LVCreed is 1 Goodwood zip execution away from...
This is definitely one of my favorite songs in this randomizer. The 8-bit Storm Eagle from Mega Man X.
actually almost surprised that LVCreed went into Metal Man at this point. I'm kind of wondering why not waiting for item 1 to show up.
I think he, considering he wanted to get might want item 2 for heat, so he's holding off on that one. And considering the Airman was a nemesis, the last one, he probably wanted to hold off on that one. So, want to save those 3 matches for last: Crash, Heat, and Air. So he's hoping that this Metal Man stage will probably get him another item before he moves on, preferably item 2.
Okay, so it's just a matter of lesser of all evils, all things considered. Yeah. Okay.
Probably just wanted to take a safe bet at this point. He did go air early the first match, and that definitely showed him to not do that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice pause buffer by LVCreed right there with all the drills. Oh, and he looks like he's found air for the trash cans there, which is good to know for the future.
And actually, Charlieboy's going into Heatman again with only item 3. So I think he's only going to try to use the 1 zip and just take the Yoku blocks.
Oh, my apologies. It was Woolly Man, not Storm Eagle. I thought it was Storm Eagle.
Woolly Mammoth? There's no Woolly Mammoth. It's a Flame Mammoth.
Well, there you go. We're all wrong in the chat and myself. Nevertheless, I love that song. That was the whole point there. I don't think Charlieboy's been able to get the zip with all the enemies on the... Yep. There's just too many enemies on that screen there for him to proceed.
Well, apply Metal Blade where needed and, you know, use item 3 as directed, it seems, and be able to pull off a zip with no problem.
Yep.
And here we go with Charlieboy going across the Yoku blocks as we'll see LVCreed probably taking the item 2 route since he has item 2.
If you definitely have it, it would be it's nice to use it when you have it.
Well, I can't think it would be quicker to go through doing the Yoku blocks in the standard sense.
It's definitely nice to trigger that item 2 and just kind of, you know, shake your hand off a little bit, you know, to get ready for the rest of the game.
I mean, I know it's entirely possible that the Heatman stage could actually just be gating off item 2, so it's, you know, part of the randomizer is that we don't know where the 3 items are, unlike the vanilla game where it's Flashman, Airman, and Heatman, that I believe have item 1, 2, and 3 respectively. LVCreed's getting a slightly more
yeah, that was a really
pattern by Airman, but I think LVCreed's losing a little time here by trying to fish for the item weakness, but oh wow, that quick boomerang did some work.
Yeah, definitely probably lost just a tad bit of time there, but he did find a weakness for later, so if he wanted to use that in the refights, he would know it, as long as he remembered.
Oh, that's definitely something I would write down, you know, if I see this guy again, quick boomerang it. And here we go with Airman stage. Hopefully LVCreed gets a little friendlier skies this time around.
Yeah, He definitely tried to hold it off to the last minute, but I think he wants to do the crash zip, so he's hoping that this airman stage will have item 1 here. Ooh.
Oh, he might be able to get it.
Oh, no. I thought he had it. I think he thought he did too. Ooh, Charlieboy took a game over here in metal stage.
Now, did he... Oh, no, he was definitely pretty far along in that stage. So I was going to say, did he try to pull what LVCreed did in Game 1 and just kind of collect a free E-tank? But that definitely wasn't the case, as Charlieboy was... Now, LVCreed does have the advantage of Airman, or excuse me, the Air Shooter being fairly effective here against both the Metroids and the Tin Cans.
I'm sure LVCreed is real happy with the bosses in this fight, as well as knowing, you know, the air weakness for the trash cans, which definitely makes that a lot easier. Definitely having fanboys there can be quite a nuisance.
Yeah, just knowing that they're there, it makes you anticipating the crabs coming down.
Oh, Charlie was able to get himself to the platform in a pause buffer. Yeah, having crabs in this spot with fanboys is definitely annoying, but definitely doable. It's not the worst you can have. It's definitely more annoying.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of keeping your focus, and you should be alright.
Definitely.
And knowing that, you know, the crab's just gonna come down and drop on your head, but...
Oh man, Charlie's Boy's got one of the crazier quick mans I've ever seen. Got it through quick, though. No pun intended.
It was Quickman he was getting taken care of there, so it's alright. We'll allow it. It was Quickman. And there goes Charlieboy getting the item 2. And I guess we'll see if Crashman has item gated off, or if Airman's gonna help him out a little bit in that department. And no.
Yep. These guys are gonna. Hopefully, the first screen isn't gonna have anything super crazy for it to be an issue for them to go above. Oh wow.
Well, surprise! Nobody's home.
Yeah.
And our Nope Monkeys there, just pulling their Team Rocket impersonation and blasting off again. Now, this definitely could have been a lot worse.
Oh yeah, definitely. Both of these guys are gonna luck out. You know, not having the item 1 was definitely probably making LVCreed's eyes roll, but then seeing that, he definitely was able to breathe a little bit better.
Yeah, that was compared to a lot of other elevator sections that I've seen, about the freest you could get. And we were talking about that a little in Game 1 with the zip. Oh, LVCreed's getting knocked down. Not to his death, but
no.
About a 5-second time loss, being knocked back down that one screen.
That's definitely savable, but it's lucky enough to get through that, no problem. Charlieboy having a little bit of trouble with the fanboys and the crabs here, but looks like she should be okay. Okay.
Looks like he's being a little too careful.
He definitely doesn't want to take a death, and I don't disagree with him on that, but definitely try to want to get through that as fast as you can.
I mean, at this point, Charlieboy's getting to the end of Airman stage, but LVCreed is now on the final set of screens at the Crashman boss.
Yeah, they're about to...
Still has Crashman yet to do, so this is going to be a pretty sizable lead for LVCreed going into the Wily section.
It's got a one-stage lead here. Which is definitely nice if LVCreed has any problems in the Wily stages.
I can think of one that would equalize things pretty much right off the bat, but hear no evil, speak no evil, say no evil, whatever that whole line is, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
Definitely don't want to be giving out the curse.
LVCreed at 21 minutes in, we're gonna start our Wily 1 thing here, and for those of us that were not around for game 1 of this match, when we get into the Wily stage, as part of the randomizer, the color of the dragon is randomized, which is the boss of this first section. So what we like to do is guess the color of the dragon along with the weakness of the dragon as to what weapon Mega Man will use to defeat the dragon. And since you went first in game 1, I will go first in game 2. I'm gonna go for the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And I'm going to say Metal Blade.
I think I'm gonna go. I'm thinking pink this time, and feeling adventurous. I think I'm gonna say it's gonna be Buster Week. I know that's one of the more rare ones, but I'm feeling it on this one.
Hey, if the shoe fits. You know. Oh, wow. LVCreed getting Christmas a little early with 2 weapon energy drops there. So I think he used a little too aggressively his items early on, and kind of got rewarded for it. So LVCreed also running into a completely blank secondary climb screen as Charlieboy's going up against Metal Man. LVCreed singing along with the music with the Buster shots.
Oh wow! Got a nice little gray and green dragon this time. I don't think I've seen this style before. It's definitely not Buster Week.
Well, that's a quick boomerang. That's a negative. Bubble lead is ineffective. Oh, there goes the Metal Blade. I'm not sure if the crash bomb worked or not.
No, it didn't.
Nope. Oh, oh no.
Oh, he's
LVCreed trying to pause buffer.
I think he might. I think he made it.
Like
wow,
he pulled it off.
That's amazing. That was a really, really good pause buffer by him. Well, we got charged sheet on this one.
Well, Charlieboy right now, looking at the entrance times to Wily 1, we have about a 2.5 minute difference in times here, and with LVCreed getting through the dragon, I think that might, you know, start to put a couple nails in Charlieboy's coffin here, as he's going to have to pull off something to make up 2.5 minutes to force a game 3 here. Otherwise, Charlieboy is unfortunately going to be eliminated from this tournament.
I mean, we are in Wily 2. Wily 2 definitely is can be quite a trolly levels, so I wouldn't want to count him out just quite yet. Actually, even Wily 3 and 4, I mean, it's until you get to about Wily 4 where you can kind of somewhat, say it's a little bit more of a safe bet.
Oh, I know. It's kind of like, we're in the fourth quarter. LVCreed's up a touchdown, but he's also got the ball, and it looks like he's going to score again. So
agreed.
The likelihood of, Charlieboy being able to make up the time decreases as the game advances. So,
Yeah.
Definitely not over yet. But
Creed was able to find a airman there for the wall weakness to use later for Pico, or not Pico, the boo beams. LVCreed's being a little bit more lenient on weapons in this Wily, and he's also getting really lucky getting the refills on Aram. It's definitely working in for his advantage.
Oh no, Charlieboy might have run out of energy for the heat.
It should have some.
Well, there should be a secondary weakness for the dragon.
I was about to say.
Did he just use the flash stopper?
Was that what it was? I was trying to figure out how he killed him right now. If it was flash stopper, that is amazing that you can finally use flash stopper for something. Oh, no! Wood.
Cat's saying it was the leap shield, which is. I was gonna say I really was under the impression that the flash stopper did not damage any of the Wily bosses.
LVCreed's using quick to kill the Pico Picos. Not the most effective, but definitely works. And looked like he didn't want to fish anymore. He was pretty content with that.
Well, if I see something that works, and it's the quick boomerang, I think I'm just gonna run with it, because even if it takes a couple shots, you get something like 6 or 8 boomerangs for each tick of item energy you have. So, at the end of the day, don't need to be a mathematician to know that's a lot of quick boomerangs you can throw around.
Agreed. Now, LVCreed's looking real healthy with full E-tanks. I mean, he's definitely got quite an advantage on that spot. Now, the flash this time doesn't use all the way, but he's able to get through that without a problem. Got lucky that the toads didn't troll him there.
Oh, they certainly tried, but Creed was able to keep himself above ground. Looks like we'll see how LVCreed handles this next section heading into the Guts Dozer. Oh, actually...
Good job to Charlieboy finding the air as the weakness. It's getting one-shots here. It's definitely going to help him out in time.
Yeah, the problem is he used the air shooter somewhere else, and he's going to deplete his air shooter and still be left with 1 Pico block.
Yeah.
And this could be a problem because Charlieboy is going to go looking for another item, and it looks like he's going to settle on the quick boomerang to finish off the last Pico block. As LVCreed looked like he was using quick boomerang to take out the Guts Dozer.
Both of them are pretty much a stage. Charlieboy's a stage behind. Unless Creed has any huge issues in this Wily. It's looking pretty good for him so far. He does have a lot of E-tanks, so if it comes down to anything, just, you know, it's not insta-death, he might be okay.
Well, about the only thing that I can see getting in Creed's way is the Wily Machine and Alien requiring some kind of weapon energy that LVCreed ends up missing out on. And, you know, that would force him to take a game over to reset his weapon energy. At this point, that's about the only, you know, the only kind of Hail Mary that Charlieboy has in the playbook is to hope for, you know, this elevator stage being a problem, or this elevator section, I should say, or running out of weapon energy on the alien. And the likelihood of either happening is not very high.
Yeah. And Board 5555 in the chat just reminded me the air was needed to defeat the walls in Wily 4 here, which Charlieboy did go to check the walls, and he's all out of air at this point. So he's definitely I hope he tries to refill before he goes into that section, or else he's gonna have a really tough time.
Well, he should have 2 weapon energy refills at the beginning of this stage. And we'll definitely see real quick if he takes them. Now, it looks like he's refilling item 2. Oh, he did pick up air. So it looks like Charlieboy filled up air, and it looks like the heat. It looks like Creed's not going to get too lucky with the metal blade. And neither is the leaf shield. So here comes the pause buffer, and it looks like LVCreed's going to use item 1. And the hunt for the weakness of the boo beam turrets begins.
Looking like it's metal, I believe, or crash.
I'm not sure if that actually hit the turret or not, but
yeah, I don't think so.
Now, is it possible to have the boo beam turrets? Well, it's definitely crashed. I was just going to ask if the boo beam turrets can have the same weakness as the crash walls.
I've never had that issue, so I wouldn't fully know. I'd like to say no. I'd like to think that Duckfist didn't want to make us rip our hair out that much. But I've never had that instance to know if that's true or not.
Because I've never seen it, but I've never been able to confirm it.
Prodigy
one way or another.
Confirmed in the chat it's not possible. Which makes the most sense, because it would be, yeah, that would be a nightmare.
And we see Charlieboy getting through the elevator section, and, whoa. That was a little close with that, application of, item 2 there. Looks like Charlieboy's gonna use a zip if he can.
Ooh, but having those roosters there are gonna be an issue. He needs to, I was gonna say, he needs to take that E-tank, because that was gonna be quite some trouble.
Yeah, unfortunately, Charlieboy gets robot chickened here, but I guess seeing those weapon refills, I guess using the metal blade, because he'll use the metal blade almost immediately again and find that it's not the correct weapon to use. And here goes the leaf shield, that's negatory. And now Charlieboy's going to lose a little bit of time checking the crash walls here.
LVCreed is making crazy use of all the weapons right now. It's making this whole refight's just way easier for him.
Yeah, he's definitely putting that knowledge he gained in the initial 8 Robot Master stages to good use as he's just plowing right through the bosses.
Let's see if this Woodman doesn't give anybody just as much trouble on a more flat surface. LVCreed got through with the Airman. Unfortunately, he's out of Airman, so hopefully he'll be able to use the refills at the Wily machine to use it, or might not need it at all.
Well, that might just be that, you know, that perfect storm that Charlieboy might need is, you know, the air shooter being, you know, like a Wily machine weakness. And he's almost certainly going to use one of these. Oh, well, it's the Buster this time around. So it looks like Creed's just going to refill on air, switch back to the Buster, and take down the Wily machine.
Yeah, that was definitely smart for him, considering that he does have all the E-tanks too. So if he was to get low on health because he accidentally got hit, he was going to be fine. But it looks like he's going to go through that no problem and get ready for the alien.
Yeah, the Buster weak Wily machine, you know, I think was about the 2-minute warning here for Charlieboy. And LVCreed's definitely got the ball here as he's headed into Victory Road.
And I don't think we played Guess the Color of the Alien in the last match, so we can do that this time. I totally forgot about that.
Ah, that game's no fun, because I always get it wrong. I'm going to go a yellow alien, orange head, and air shooter weakness.
I'll go green, and I think it's gonna be metal this time.
Oh, wow. Steve, I could not have been more wrong.
Oh god, getting bodied there. Ow.
Well, I think Creed found what the weakness was. It was whatever this item was that he has equipped.
But he doesn't have enough. I think that's why he decided just to take the intentional death.
Yeah, so he's going to refill here.
That's the That's exactly the problem we were talking about earlier. Is running through the cycle of weapons because you want to beat some of the Robot Masters, but then having a little bit of a stretch here of possibly taking the chance of not getting anything, and then having to either take a game over because you don't have the required weapon energy. So he's lucky enough that he didn't use it and was able to use it at this portion, so he should be fine.
Yeah, unless he misses a lot, which, is a possibility. This should be it, and Creed will be just a few moments away from taking down the alien. Woo! Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's get those GGs out in chat for LVCreed here.
Yeah, absolutely. With an official SRL time of 38 minutes and 23 seconds, LVCreed wins Game 2 and the match against Charlieboy.
Yeah, hats off to LVCreed on this match. It was really good. And hats off to Charlieboy as well. Not too far behind. Unfortunately, the sad truth here is that LVCreed, although LVCreed will be moving on, Charlieboy is now officially out of the tournament here.
Yeah, LVCreed will, the road ahead of him is the winner of the Mad Mega X 381 and the Daggett. LVCreed will face the winner of that match. And we already know Stuffin' Things 42 is waiting for the winner of that match. And it sounds like we have an intruder here in the Discord.
Yeah, I thought I'd just pretty much invade your territory, make it my own.
Hey, get out. You're in here enough. Get out of here.
No, this is basically my home now, so you need to make some room for me now.
Oh, fine. Here, I figured, I'd be okay with that if you would have lost this race. Because then, you and I, we do a little commentary together. So what do you think about these seeds?
Honestly, these have been a couple of my worst runs in quite some time. As y'all can probably already have seen, these two airman stages, these two seeds have been pretty much just telling me to just bend over. It's like I said in my comments, it told me to bend over, and the first thoughts was how low and how deep, and that's pretty much how it was.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what your thoughts were on that airman stage, specifically first seed, because I know it looked like a nightmare.
Yeah, airman is
taking a death here to the acid drops, and we know that he's lacking crash bombs, and he's definitely going to need those to take down the aliens. So Charlieboy's looking at taking another death here.
Yeah, the crash bombs, this particular seed, they really want you to use them. It's unfortunate that the situation just happened to be as it was.
Well, it could have been worse. It could have been to the point where you couldn't do about 80% damage with one bomb shot there. You get the explosion damage as well, and Charlieboy is going to go through the weapons here. And we already know that it's the C weapon for Crashman is what we're looking for.
Yeah, if I was to balance out the air shooter and the crash bombs when I was doing my refills in the Wily machine, I probably would have had a much easier shot, but I wasted so much air between the blue beam walls and Woodman. Even though that was a secondary weakness, I was way too worried about air being absolutely empty as opposed to Crash, which was running on fumes. It was kind of a pretty much a rock and a hard place to try to choose between the two.
I agree with you on that. I got a question, because I've was fortunate enough to pretty much see, I think, all your matches except for one in this bracket, and throughout the entire tournament, you've kind of just streamlined through these races. And then when you had your match with Metalo, unfortunately, you had lost that one and came into the losers bracket. What was your mindset going into this match to make sure that you were able to clutch this win?
Well, all I just do is just practice. Honestly, when I did practice earlier today, my runs were much better than this. I had much better seeds. I was actually able to get like a high 33 and actually had a high 32 in one of my practice seeds. So I know I'm capable of doing much better. It's just these seeds were just a little too crazy for me. And of course, we got to go back to the air stage. So it's right there, right in front. So what can you do? That's how randomizer works. You get a good couple of seeds in some situations, and then you get a traversal mockery of a situation like you saw in these two races.
If you don't mind me cutting in real quick, Charlieboy finishes with an official SRL time of 43 minutes and 7 seconds, and that's going to conclude our race today with LVCreed victorious 2-0, which will have LVCreed move on in the tournament, and Charlieboy unfortunately being eliminated.
Yes, definitely. And LVCreed will be waiting match between Mad Mega and the Daggett, and that will determine who he's going to face. Is there anybody preference-wise you're looking to face in that matchup, or are you just hoping to see a good match in general?
Nah, I have no preference in general. It's pretty much as you said. I just want to right now. I just want to see a good match, and then once the winner of that match comes and face me, I just hope to improve my. Well, not exactly improve my game, but hopefully just have a better stretch of runs, unlike the ones that I had this time around.
Definitely, and I believe we got Charlieboy in here now. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you sound so you sound all relieved, like you're out of the tournament or something.
No, that's not a relief. That's the disappointment.
Ah, okay.
Any thoughts about the seeds today, Charlie?
I mean, they weren't particularly too hard or nothing I couldn't handle. I just didn't perform up to my capabilities. You know, things happen.
Definitely understand. I mean, I know both of you guys are having a little issues in the Airman stage. I know, particularly you in the first match during the end of the Bubble Man stage, just before the door, you definitely took a few deaths on the strip right there, which definitely caused you to get set back a little bit.
I'd say it cost me the game, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, things happen. Creed's a great runner. I came into this practicing and knowing what I was up against. I mean, I was getting consistent like 35s and 37s and stuff like that. This whole last week of practice, I was just getting 40s and stuff. I mean, I guess I tilted before the match even started. I don't know. But yeah, good stuff to Creed. You know, congrats on the win.
Yeah, it wasn't the cleanest of wins, but I guess a W is a W.
Hey, I mean, you know, it is what it is. You got me. You did. Good stuff. Good stuff.
She's just things changed around. Actually, you might have would have had a shot as well. I mean, if we can go back to the first seed, the airman stage for me was just really awful, nearly game overed, and wound up having to game over period. Since I was, of course, gonna be trying to do zips and had to do death abuse to get to midpoints and such. Of course, I had to force the game over on my end. So the first seed in particular was really rough on me.
Yeah. First seed was a little rough for me as well. I mean, besides, like Matt was saying, I took the death in Bubble. I think I took a death, and I took a death in Wily Fit 3 to a fan man that I knew was gonna be there, and
Man, I was pretty much expecting it. I put on Flash the first thing, almost expected it, and lo and behold, there it was. I was pretty much just thinking, assuming that you were closer by some reasoning ahead of me, that was gonna be a point. I'm almost sure that you probably would have died.
yeah. Well, actually, I saw the fan guy on the screen before it, and I was like, "Oh, there's gonna be a fan guy here." So I forget exactly what I did, but I think I was just gonna pause buffer into him instead of flashing, and then whenever I was on the way down, it was because of the sprite of the water that spawns. It won't let you pause at times.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, I got bodied. Unfortunate.
Yeah, the seeds are definitely a little bit troublesome in certain parts there, but it was nice to see how you guys were actually pulling them off, which, you know, definitely shows, you know, how your experience in these games compared to someone like myself, for that matter, that's definitely had quite the issues because I haven't played Randomizer as much as I would like to.
Yeah, good stuff to Creed, of course. Thanks, guys, for commentating and all that stuff.
Of course, man. Thank you for starting up this tournament. It's definitely been fun. You know, it's the first time I've ever entered in one of these tournaments and commentating, for that matter. And I've definitely had a blast meeting and hanging out with all you guys and just enjoying, you know, all the races in total.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. It's unfortunate that I'm out, but I kind of saw it coming whenever I saw my matchups and the brackets and stuff. But I mean, that's just how the dice rolled for me, and unfortunately, it wasn't a good roll. The cards were stacked against me.
Definitely. Frico, do you have anything to add?
Not really. I think everything has been pretty much addressed, you know, in the way of, you know, I guess both of the runners admitted to practicing and pulling off much better times than what they ended up doing in the race. Do you think you kind of practice a little too much, perhaps?
there's always the chance that you could probably practice one time too many, and you probably put your best a little too soon, which could lead to situations like this. But it's still a randomizer. You don't know exactly what you're gonna get. You can get good seeds at one point, and you can get bad seeds at another. That's just the nature of the thing. So honestly, you really can't say that. Well, sometimes, but not all the times you can say that you put your best a little too soon. It's too random.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Okay, any final thoughts from you guys before we go ahead and sign off here?
Not yet. Just GG's to Creed, of course. Thanks, guys, for commentating once again, and thanks to Speed Network for having us, the Gaming Network. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, pretty much ditto. Thanks, Charlieboy, for racing with me. Thanks for organizing the tournament. Of course, pretty much just parroting what you're saying. Just thanks to the commentators for commentating. The viewers, of course, for taking the chance to watch whatever the crap was going on within these races right now.
Yeah, I want to apologize to the viewers for my showing. I mean, I wish I could have given you a better race.
Honestly, I think in some cases for the viewers, the way that we screw it up probably a little bit funny. So, hey, that's what these randomizers are supposed to be.
True.
Yeah, I think
how bad they control us.
Yeah, I think that's what the viewers probably like to watch a little bit more when doubt.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of the little cheap thrill of, oh no, they're getting, absolutely destroyed by the seed. But, I think at the end of the day, I kind of, empathized with Charlieboy, especially with, just the mistakes being made, and you just kind of go, all right, maybe it was just the first game, a little bit of nerves early on, and it just happened to show up in game 2 again, and it's,
And unfortunately, things happen. I got thrown an enemy set in some stages, but I guess I have other strategies that work, but they didn't work for these stages, or these sets of enemies. And like, say, for instance, the metal, or the moles, the drills in the metal stage, and how I took the death there, the second seed, or the shrimps in the first stage, which I should have, if I was thinking properly, I should have damage boosted off the shrimps, get through them when seeing them, instead of, hey, I'm just gonna take this jump over a pit and hit the shrimp. Oh, yuck. But, twice. But, things happen.
I will say that those Metroids, the M544s, are slowly climbing up the ladder of my hatred list in Airman stage. Those things have really been the bane of my running existence as of recent. Though I also will say, holy crap, that save on the Mecha Dragon though.
Oh my god, we were talking about that as we watched you pause buffer. Almost, I was sitting there wondering if you were gonna get through it, and as soon as I saw that you weren't invisible anymore, it looked like you were solid. And that was probably one of the best saves I've seen so far.
I tried to do the same thing in Airman stage. It was unfortunate on that one. Sometimes you still just gotta just wing it and hope and let the chips fly.
Yeah, and I agree. I know we watched you try to do it in the Airman one. Unfortunately, you weren't successful, but the difference between that one and getting the one in the Mecha Dragon was that if you didn't get in the Mecha Dragon, the setback, after dying would have been way more annoying than, the Airman part. So yeah, luckily enough, you got it on that than the Airman.
What a night.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in game 2, after I saw Creed not done, I stopped caring. So I kind of kissed the machine a little bit. And, yeah, I ran out of Crash Bomb on the alien, of course. Didn't take enough to fight. But
yeah, I had the same issue.
Definitely, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for giving us some entertainment tonight, and congrats to you, LVCreed. You'll be moving on. Charlieboy as well. Thank you so much for organizing the race and just racing with us as well. It's definitely been fun to watch you guys race throughout this entire time.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having us again, guys. And, yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Yep. Later.
And looking with that, LVCreed moving on, he'll be awaiting the Mad Mega Daggett match to move forward, as well as looking at the rest of the bracket. We have one more winners quarterfinals between Metalo and Squigman, and the winner of that is going to face Mega Kyle in the final bracket. And we still got quite a bit of ways in the losers brackets. I know we have Apollo and Kumba has to do their match, and the winner of that will face Prodigy, who beat Kamasenin earlier on. And once again, Mad Mega and Daggett to finish their match, which will face LVCreed. And then we'll be going on from there. Anything else you want to say, Frico, before we sign off?
No, I think it's that time where we go through our thank yous and call it a night.
I agree there. Make sure if you guys haven't been following any of the runners, definitely give them a follow. Check out their streams. They definitely been working hard on practicing and running these races. It's been amazing.
Yeah, I think, we go through the list of, got to thank Duckfist for making the randomizer. I mentioned it before, but Charlieboy for running the tournament. And again, Charlieboy along with Creed for taking part in the race today. Thank you as well for jumping in the commentary booth with me. And we actually had a new person on the tracker. I'm probably going to butcher their name, but it looks like Move Landrone as our tracker today, handling the X's and items for us.
Yes, thank you to him for taking care of the tracker, because I know we're kind of watching the screens. We can get a little sidetracked on the tracker ourselves, and we're being reminded of what boss was beaten or if they picked up any items. So thank you to him.
I think at that point, aside from everybody who was watching, I think that's about it for us tonight.
Yep. Yeah, looks like about that time. Looks like dinner time to me, so definitely.
Oh, it's nap time for me. It's almost 11 at night, so...
Oh, yeah. It's about 8 o'clock here, so I'm definitely hungry.
West Coasters.
Awesome. Thank you guys in the chat for hanging out with us, playing the games. Definitely check out the schedule for the rest of the Speed Gaming channels, including this one, for all the other tournaments that are going on. Definitely check out the challenge website, which has the bracket there. And also check out the Speed Gaming schedule to see when we will be streaming again for one of the other races. You definitely don't want to miss it. All the races have been amazing. It's been super fun. And I'm glad to be a part of the commentary team to be able to commentate these amazing matches. And thank you, Frico, for always being around.
Yeah, absolutely. Still on the DL. I'm hopefully about 2 weeks away from getting this soft cast off of my left arm so I can actually properly hold a controller again.
You can start joining up the weekly Sunday races.
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to it, but for now, hey, I'm just trying to do what I can.
Definitely. Okay, let's cut this off then. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Make sure you guys tune into the other channels to see the other tournaments that are going on. And you guys all have a great night.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good night, everyone.
Yep, take care.